And Lepore, you talked about something dramatic happening with this team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going to say it right now. Connor McDavid, okay, has 5 years left on his contract after this season.
Okay.
At some point, do we see him
where are you going? Where are you going, Bruno?
of Edmonton? I just said it. And you could say the same thing about Jack Eichel, who's in the exact same situation in Buffalo.
Whose name we brought up, yeah.
He has, exactly. You talked about Jack Eichel. He's got this year and 5 more years left on his monster contract. Right. Are these guys regretting signing these big contracts?
I don't think, I mean, specifically to the deals, like, I don't think they regret signing their deals, but it's kind of funny. Like those deals are such huge contracts, but no one would question them right now. Like even McDavid, I think value wise, his $12.5 million is one of the best deal values in the league, like with whatever metrics they use. And even Eichel at 10 million, like any team would take that for a legit number one center who's that young and that prolific. But I think the question is like, do they want to be where they are? And I'll fire this back at you. If you had that $1 million bet of who will demand a trade out of where they are, who's making that trade request first?
Oh man. And I know there's been
first things right. No, I'll step back a second. Do you see either of those players finishing those deals where they are?
I'll say there's a good chance that one of them will not finish out their contracts where they are.
So you're saying at least one. Okay. And then who are you thinking? So who would you say has a better chance to finish their deal, and who would be the one to ask for the trade?
Okay. That's a tough question, but, and listen, he doesn't strike me as the person who would want to force his way out of a situation. There's been no rumblings that he wants to leave. He's the best player on the planet.
Yeah.
But I really think that this could get to a breaking point with Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers because, again, you're Connor McDavid, and it's like you said, right? You're training with Austin Matthews in the offseason, and you're looking at Matthews being in almost a perfect situation as a top centerman, right? With the talent
in your city.
And I'm not sitting here saying McDavid's going to come to the Leafs. The Leafs have no salary cap space. Like, I mean, that's just not going to happen. But you're looking at that situation. You're saying, you know, I have Leon Draisaitl here. He just won the MVP, and we're two of the best players on the planet, and we can't even win a playoff series. Like we can't even get past the second round of the playoffs.
I don't even think it's that, Bruno. The Leafs haven't even gone that far. I just think it's a matter of like potential. Like what's Edmonton's ceiling right now? I think that's the way you can look at it. Like
fair enough.
The Leafs haven't had playoff success, but if we said like no one would be shocked if the Leafs made a run. I think people would be pretty shocked, even if I said before, like it wouldn't shock me if the Oilers finish near the top of the division. I'd still be shocked if they made a legit run and we could pick them as a team to maybe like lift the cup.
Yeah, I think it's more like you said, sort of looking at the trajectory of that team and being like, okay, what path are they on right now in terms of how they're assembled? Who do they have coming in? And it's like, even when you look at, you know, some of the Oilers draft picks, I know they drafted a couple of defensemen in the first round, 2 out of the last 3 years, I believe, but those guys don't seem like they're anything special either. I think, Evan Bouchard, and I forgot the other guy's name, but I mean, there's really no one coming up, you know, in the system who you're excited about, you know, and they're still going to be, you know, a fairly decent team just because they have McDavid and Draisaitl. So they're never going to be in a situation again where, you know, they're picking in the top 5 of the draft. So if you're Connor McDavid, you're sitting there and you're going, holy shit, I'm locked in here for, you know, the next 6 seasons with this team. And again, he doesn't strike me as someone who would force his way out. And I know there's been rumblings with Jack Eichel, you know, over the last year or so that he hasn't been happy in Buffalo.
Well, Eichel's different the way that he gets on the mic and he demands change to his organization and his team, man. Which, I mean, I can appreciate. The guy wants to win. No one can question that. So I appreciate when he does make those comments.
But what do you think? Like, if you had to pick one of those guys...
I don't know. Like, I don't know why, but I see McDavid going first. I would see McDavid. I don't know. Like, I can see Buffalo, not even as if like I can see them figuring it out and becoming some juggernaut, but just for some reason I point to the McDavid situation and I just see like, I see this kid getting tired of this. And even if he's not that personality, you get one career. You get one career. And I think sometimes as fans, we forget about that. Like you'll hear about a certain player that wants out of a situation, whether he doesn't get along with a coach or he doesn't like an environment or the situation that team's in. And that player gets shit on quite often by fans and media. Oh, like selfish player, this and that. You get one career. And we have McDavid might be the best player we've ever seen. Like this guy's may be the best player that we see in our lifetime going forward. There might not be another Connor McDavid after this. So it will get to a point where like we don't want to see a wasted career. And when I say wasted, I mean in the way of like playoff success. And like, man, like if this guy's not like, well, I'll put it this way, like he'd be the best player ever to not win a championship. Like people always make, people always make that list, like Marcel Dion and these guys that never lifted a cup. But like right now, it's no question. Like they're not even close. So,
and that's the thing, right? It's like, we're not saying that they need to go out and win, 2 or 3 cups in a row.
Yeah.
But you got to be a competitive team year in and year out. When the year starts, I need to know that with the team that they have assembled there in Edmonton with McDavid and Draisaitl, that team is among, the top 3 to 5 teams to win the Stanley Cup. And right now they're just not.
You know, I just thought of actually similarly, you think of Pittsburgh and Washington, where like if we thought of the 2 most generational talents, like previously Crosby and Ovechkin, both teams were very good fairly quickly. Like they got talent around them, they figured it out. And again, like when you have that cheat code, when you have that cheat code that's Crosby or Ovechkin or McDavid or Draisaitl, it shouldn't be that hard to figure it out. And again, there's no secret pathway to get like deep in the playoffs. But like you use the word of like their trajectory, it's not good. It doesn't look good, and it's perplexing and it's concerning. And how can it not get to a point for an athlete? Because we judge these guys based on kind of like on their demeanor. Like McDavid's kind of a quiet guy. He might be shy, whatever. Doesn't mean he's not pissed off at the world just because he's a quiet guy and saying, fuck this, I want out of here. So that's something I'm really interested to see like how it unfolds like as the years go on.
Yeah, because even if you look at a team like Washington, right? And you could say, oh, Washington only won 1 cup in the Ovechkin era. But Washington was winning the President's Trophy.
Oh, yeah.
They're one of the top, 5 regular season teams for like a 10-year stretch, right? Yeah. With Ovechkin and Backstrom.
Nobody was saying Ovechkin's got to get out of there. Like no one gave that narrative.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, moving forward, it doesn't look good in Edmonton. And again, like I wouldn't be surprised, Lepore, if they make the playoffs this year just because they have McDavid and Draisaitl and those 2 guys just say, get on our backs. We're going to score 2 points a night each. And we're just going to drag this team to the playoffs. But man, oh man, you put that team in a 7-game series against any team that has a solid defensive structure. And I just have no confidence in that team to win a 7 games. I have no confidence in them beating the Habs right now in a 7-game series. I have no confidence.
Koskinen's not beating Price. Done.
Exactly. I can't see them beating the Leafs. I can't even see them beating Calgary. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
I don't even think Calgary's that great. I think Calgary's a solid team. And, I kind of like the pieces that they have there. I think they're well balanced. But that's even a team that I could see the Oilers losing to in a 7-game series. And that's just not good when you have 2 players like that.